Hey guys, welcome back. This is Lucid. We are going to be jumping back into our game with Late Age Mictlan. It is turn 31. And we are still continuing to attack Ulm. We should have some good battles for you this turn. We should have one on his capital and one inside one of his forts. So let's see what happened. Message from Midgard. Blood Brothers, Midgard is past the opportunity of ascension. Now we wish to see the downfall of Ulm and the unrepentant man. Uthgard has rekindled ancient feuds, and now we must deal with them at our borders. This situation is not good for us because it means Mictlan grows beyond Midgard and can keep territories while Midgard only raids. We not blame you for this and honor your conquests. The entire situation is the fault of Ulm and their slave man. We still want to take lands of Ulm and Man, and to take their fortress and to unleash the furies of our ale-laden bladders upon their hearths. That's funny, piss on their door. Does not think Swedes back down out of wars. We must somehow respond to Uthgards or they will crush us. However, we continue to raids and try to keep Avalons on defense. Their main army, again, is preparing for Dragon's Pass for renewed assault on our throne fortress. They now work with Uthgard, so I think Dragon Pass is mine, though. So know this, Uthgard has joined the sides of the deceivers and betrayers. But as long as Mictlan destroys Ulm and Uthgard focuses on Midgard, and not the bigger threat of Mictlan, then their side will fall. I'm not a bigger threat. Come on, guys. I guess they are getting kind of scared of me. Midgard cannot win this conflict, but we can pull down our enemies. So he says, I'm not tilted, but with 10 turns left, I'm examining secondary goals and take-home prizes, stay alive, keep my cap, and end with more points than my sworn enemies. So, yeah, I don't know if it's going to be hard for anybody to get a throne victory. I think it's going to come down to the horrors. Which is a kind of cool way for this to end, because it's going to be random in a way. So it's kind of like we all get to have fun and kind of showcase the nations and fight each other. But at the end, the horrors are going to have their way. Thank you for the tokens and support. Fear not. I intend to let Midgard take his throne. I do not intend to let Midgard take his throne back. Along these lines, the only way he can attack me is by sailing over the ocean. I need to see if he controls the island in 138, which he can use as a staging area. I will have that info soon, but you can share it. It would be appreciated. If he does control it, if he doesn't control it, I assume you do. If you control the island, then nothing more needs to be discussed. But if he does, would you be willing to take it from him? That could be an option, but I don't imagine you're eager to make enemies for no reason. If he controls the island, I intend to secure it, and that will require me going through the water. In that case, I would like to propose two options. One, I temporarily rent the water province north of this throne, giving a thug with a water ring a path to the island. Alternatively, I buy that province from you outright, making it easier for me and maybe giving me a backdoor into Midgard. If you're amenable to either of these possibilities, let me know. Of course, this is moot if you already control the island. We also have a dire portent, where I think somebody puts up Mother Oak. Yeah. And a bunch of stuff. I want to talk about these messages first, and this may contain some spoilers as we switch to the map, but hopefully not. So this is the throne this is the province that Uthgard wants. Now, I'm a little concerned because of two things. One is, I believe, let's go check. These guys can have a nature random. Yeah, and the nature random ones of these can forge, and I can show you here probably. Don't I have one of these in my cap? Oh, not yet. Okay, I don't have anybody on a lab. But they can forge the Book of Water Breathing or whatever, and he could potentially move an army through here and up here and take this throne. So that is what I'm worried about. And he's got this big freaking army here, so that's very scary to me. This is an army that is more than big enough to take anything Midgard's going to attack with. It's an army big enough to decisively take this. So I'm not going to give that to him. For sure. Because if he had enough of those, he could just walk over here and take this. So that's reason number one. Reason number two is, and I'm going to spell this out in my letter to him, is he wants to basically have a thug that he can move in to take this. And I mean, how is he? It doesn't even make sense. This is illogical. So either he has a bad idea, which would hurt him, which I don't really care if he does, but it's not going to work. So either he has a thug and he takes one of these islands, but Midgard has the other island, so he could raid him from this island. To get this island, he's going to need to move in and take another province. So he's going to need, like, all my water provinces to take one, but when he moves his thug from here to here, then Midgard could take this. And then let's not forget, he's not going to be able to design a single thug, which is going to be able to take all of Midgard's stuff. So this just doesn't make sense. And I think he's lying to me. And I think what is happening is he's going to move his army through here and try to take this 3-point throne and win the game. That's what I think. And so with that, we will talk about some of the outgoing diplomacy first. So a message to Uthgard. Well, I understand your desire to take the islands. I'm not sure how you intend to achieve this. The main problem is that you won't be able to hold the islands against Midgard. If you move a thug there, he can move a medium-sized army there and kill your thug and take its items. The only way you can hold the item is to move an army there. If you move an army there, you risk having the army completely wiped in a retreat or trapped on the island if the commander dies. Further, for me, if you're capable of moving an army to the island, then you're also capable of moving an army to the nearby level 3 throne adjacent to the province of mine you're requesting to transit through. This would get you very close to victory. The final option is that we take it, we, as in Mictlan, take it from Midgard. We're currently not fighting, though as my war comes to an end with Ulm, I would be open to the possibility of engaging him. I'll ask him if I can take the island from him, and we can see what he says. If he says no, I can consider war in a few turns, but right now I'm not sure if that's the best war for me to be in next. So in conclusion, since you can't really hold the islands with a thug, and since giving you access to that province will expose the throne, a throne to you, we cannot allow you passage. Your best bet is to have some counter-raiding strategy for Midgard when he sends sailors raiding into your lands. Okay, so that is a pretty comprehensive explanation of why I'm denying him his request. But now I'm going to go ahead and sound the alarms to everybody else that in addition of being worried about Midgard having a throne victory, we have to be worried about Uthgard. So I send a message to Man. Uthgard has prevented the Midgard throne rush, but he's also 2 provinces away from Pythium's throne. He's very capable of building items to move his army underwater, and he asked me for passage to quote-unquote attack the islands. This is very unlikely. I will alert Pythium as to this possibility, but if he moves after I deny him passage, we will only have a turn or 2 to take a throne from him. I'll try to have my army in 2 moves from the Uthgard throne near his border. You might want to do the same. And then a message from Pythium. To Pythium, Midgard asked me for passage to 143. Pythium's the owner of that throne. Please ensure that this throne cannot be taken easily, either by upgrading it, keeping chaff to hold up fort walls, or keeping a nearby army. And then a message to Midgard. Uthgard's asking me to take your island, so you can't keep raiding him. I'm not going to oblige. So I didn't even really ask Midgard to take his island, because I don't really care if he raids... I don't care if Midgard raids Uthgard, but I may take these from him for my own interest later. Okay, so that was all the Diplo. We did Diplo first. Now, we have a bunch of Jaguar Fiends for something. You can see we did 5 casts, so that's actually kind of a lot of Jaguar Fiends. We found a clam field, which is nice. It'll give us some money and a pearl, and then we get 3, I think this is 3 gems worth. Yeah, so we get 2 different sites that give you animists, which are not bad. They're stealthy into, and these guys can spam out swarm, so they're kind of useful mages. For raiding, you could do a pretty big alpha strike with these guys if you needed to. I don't think we're going to be recruiting them. I'd probably rather have turkeys. Like, we just compare 140 versus 125, and these guys are strictly better, I would say. So not super useful, but we definitely need the nature income, so that part is really nice. So So we'll go through blood economy. This is about 100 blood slaves. And then down here we have a battle in Ulm. So this is the first course in a 2-course meal. Okay, we can see it's the same thing. It's a fair number of commanders, a fair amount of PD, some wolves, which all they're going to do is get my little blood surge engine charged up. Okay, we summon imps. And these are the imps are kind of wasted. I'm not going to probably lose but 1 or 2 guys here. There go my flyers. And I think that's it. So you can see that did not take very long. Lost 1 Jaguar warrior. Not bad. Okay, we took control of this province. And we have a battle here. So Uthgard is attacking us, actually. Okay, so he's got another little vampire squad here. With some archers. I don't know. I think these are coming from his little fort to the right of his capital. That's a lot of skeletons. Yeah, and those skeletons are not the exact kind of thing I want to fight. But if I have flyers and they attack rear, that will probably be okay. They'll kill these vampires well enough. So that's that. And then we attack... I think this is inside of his fort. Yeah, so we've got flyers. He's got some dudes. He's got some of these Black Templar. And they're all going to get blessed up. He's got a Revenant too. Okay, and our Ocelotls jump in. And these guys do take a couple rounds to die, but that's it. They all die within 3 rounds. Unfortunately, some of our guys are decayed, so it's they're probably going to die. We'll see. What are these? Are these Mountain Kings? No, they're Long Dead Horsemen. Okay, yeah. The decayed ones die? Yeah. So here we actually lost a few Ocelotls due to the decay, so that's the decayed bless paying off, but usually killing things in a fight you lose is kind of a firing victory, not the kind of thing you really want, but anyway. We kill some more of these sneaking Dryad mothers, which is nice. And I think that's mostly it. We've got a lot of unrest we're getting rid of, and I think we finally have started to chip away at the unrest here. We were at 160 before, we're down to 130, and I've taken... Okay, I can't add any more of these guys up here, can I? No. But I was going to have these guys patrol. I think we're going to search here first, because maybe I find an astral site, which would be nice. In terms of troop movement, these big guys... So we have a problem here. We've got this big Ulm stack. Or not big, but it's a lot of vampires, and they're going to generate a couple hundred undead pretty quickly. So in that sense, it's kind of big. They're right here. Yeah. I want to take this province from them. I also want to... They could potentially move here and take this. They could potentially move here on top and take this. So we're going to kind of cover all our bases here because we're a lot bigger than we can. We're going to move this squad of flyers up here. And these flyers should be able to kill them because they'll go kill the source of vampires pretty quickly. And once all the vampires are dead, then hopefully all the skeletons will just melt and we won't even really have to deal with them. So that is the plan. These guys are going to move up here. Here, we're going to have a rather small army, but we've got a fair amount of PD. And the PD is going to be pretty helpful dealing with skeletons. So PD plus these guys getting all wooden warriors and divine blessing will do... I think we'll still win versus this, though we'll probably take some losses. But that's okay. That group which is moving in is some of the Jags which are already here, but most of the Jags which are here, plus a fair amount of slaves, are going to move up. So we've got all the crossbreeding dudes, and then we've got these guys. And anyway, so this is a pretty big group, 70 dudes. That they've got, if we look at the siege strength here, we've got 200 siege strength. So that's going to significantly add to the siege strength we have on top of Ulm. If we look at Ulm, Ulm is unharmed. We need more men to breach it. So we're not even chipping away at it very slowly, which means he has a ton of dudes inside, because our siege strength here is 129, so he has at least 129 siege defense. But moving in 200 is definitely going to tip that. But we need to get through 750, so we're going to need a lot of dudes on top. So we'll have to figure out how we do that. Meanwhile, what else? Okay, we've got this guy moving in. Now, this is just a Nahuli. He has to be in human form, and I probably should have thought about, well, no, he's probably fine. He's going to be at the back, so he's not really going to get hit by arrows. But I have him scripted. This is a kind of weird little thing. Battle Fortune, Wooden Warriors, and Conservative Magic Gem use. Now, what this will do, and I think this is how it works. It's happened like this a few times, though I haven't tested it extensively, is if you script somebody with a spell they can't cast that uses gems, even if you have conservative gem use on, it will potentially cast another spell that will use gems. And in this case, it should be Mass Protection, because guess what? We are getting Mass Protection just barely this turn. And what that will mean is if he chooses to have a big fight this turn, we'll be able to cast it. Otherwise, next turn, this guy's going to be able to drop a very easy Mass Protection, which is something I want, and he's just going to bring a bunch of gems up here. Meanwhile, our hero down here, Chris Lighthawk, is he's got his Amulet of Bark Skin, his Robe of Shadow, so it's hopefully rather unlikely that he dies. He also has a second form he can switch into. This will also help protect them against things like Seeking Arrow, which would be pretty good. I mean, this is just generally going to be pretty helpful. The only thing that could maybe get him right now early is Infernal Disease, if Ulm went that high in blood, but I don't think he did. So I think I'm pretty safe using him. But anyway, he is going to come up here and probably join the final fight. But before he does that, we're going to go ahead and search this for air and astral, and maybe we find something. And then after that, he's going to be following this army around. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do after that. If I declare war on Midgard, I can probably, God, it's a lot. The game's just not going to go long enough. And if I'm going to go through this, it's going to be tricky. Moving through this, I got to break this for it. That's going to take forever, and then break that one. I need to have at least like 400 siege strength in an army, which is going to be pretty tough for me. And my map move is kind of slow. I need Mound Kings, but to get Mound Kings, I need to get up in blood so I can break into death. Because I think I have to have death to summon this one, but when I summon this one with blood, that will be good enough. So I do need to think as I get close to Blood 6 about empowering somebody, because I don't... Oh no, or I'll just have my Pretender cast it. Or otherwise I would have to empower somebody in blood. Maybe worth empowering. I don't want to have to waste Pretender turds on that. Yeah, we'll probably empower. So I do need to think about that. Next turn is my current turn. I'm probably going to record that right after this, so... okay. So, anyway, we're moving these guys in. We've got 2 forces designed to catch his vampires wherever his vampires go. If his vampires start doing really random stuff, then that's fine. That actually would be a good idea. I don't think he's going to do that because he's worried about his cap, but I also thought about maybe taking this since it's highly likely he takes this off and I'm not really sieging it down. The problem is if I pull this army off and then I pull it back, then the reinforcements that are going to come in, they're not going to do anything either. So, yeah, I think we're going to buckle down and try to knock this thing down and forget these other ones for a minute. Though I may want to get this one sieged up, just so that I lay claim to it versus Man and Midgard, who may try to knock it down. So that's kind of my thinking process there. Let's take a look at the throne situation. Okay, so he's got the Throne of Zeal, the Throne of War. I guess that's... Wait, this is... maybe I sounded the alarm improperly on Uthgard. I think I thought he had control of this one, and I assumed he was going to get control of this one. I think he does have 4 points. I think he's got another one in his pocket plus this one, which would give him 5, because I think this is a level 1. And I think this is probably a level 2. So if he doesn't, I think he has easy access to it, and then getting this would give him the victory. I'm just worried about it. I don't know if that's rightful or not, but that's my current thinking. But he's done a public service by taking this from Midgard. So anyway, are we blood sacking at all? I don't see any blood sacking. This guy's researching. He should probably be blood sacking. But probably in my cap. I'd rather just have really high dominion in one province, like my cap, and then everything else would be enemy dominion. Problem is I keep getting all these misfortune events, because a lot of people took misfortune. I think these are all misfortune, yeah. But they're much better scales, so they give way better income than mine would. Okay, so I think that's it for this turn, and therefore for this episode. We are running up blood. When I get blood 6, it is going to open up some fun stuff. And when I get... The other thing that's important is bind Ice Devil, which is at blood 6. For this, how are we going to do this? I'm going to need to forge... And I think I have it. We're going to need to make one of these, a Robe of the Sea. So actually, I think we go forward and do that in my next turn. I'm going to need to make a Robe of the Sea. And then, in addition... I'm going to... I think that'll be it. A Robe of the Sea... No, we need to be Blood 3. Let's check this out real quick. Okay, Blood 3, Water 3. So, I think I have it backwards. I'm going to probably... Unless I get a Blood random, or if I already have a Blood random... they already have enough water, so I don't need a Robe of the Sea. You are a water random and an astral. You are a nature random. And I think those are the only ones I have at the moment. We're making another one. They'll come out next turn. So we'll see what kind of random we get there. But I'm probably going to have to blood empower one. And actually, you know, thinking about it, I needed to get a blood... I was talking earlier about I needed to get a blood 3 just independently, not even a blood water one. I'd need a blood 3 just to summon this and not use a pretender turn. So I think we're definitely going to do that on whoever pops out of my capital next turn. So, and I'm not doing that yet, so I need to actually zap forward and go do that when we record the next episode. So, thanks guys. Hope you're enjoying the series, and see you next time.